Chosen ones, it's your time. Eternal wealth awaits. The clock is ticking, and heaven itself is holding its breath. This isn't just another moment in your day. It's the divine appointment you were created for, the sacred hour when the scroll of your destiny unfurls. Can you feel it? That stirring deep in your soul, that quickening in your spirit. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. Right now, as you hear these words, God is whispering your name, calling you to step into a prosperous life, overflowing with divine provision. You didn't stumble upon this message. This message found you, hunting you down through the chaos of the world to deliver this truth. Your time for eternal wealth, spiritual, emotional, and material abundance is now. Before we dive deeper, let me thank you for being here, chosen one. Your presence is no accident. If this message stirs your soul, consider supporting this divine mission through super thanks below. Your generosity helps spread the light of divine provision to others standing at their own crossroads, ready to claim their prosperous life. But whether you give or simply receive, know this: you are exactly where God intended you to be. Picture a radiant door standing before you, its surface shimmering with gold, your name carved in letters of light. This isn't a door of wood or steel. It's a portal woven from divine opportunity, sealed with God's unbreakable promise. Behind it lies everything you've ever prayed for: breakthrough, purpose, financial freedom, and a legacy that echoes through generations. But here's the truth that will shake you to your core. This door won't stay open forever. Its timer is counting down, and heaven is watching to see if you'll step forward in faith or let fear keep you frozen. In Psalm 24:7, the Bible declares, "Lift up your heads, O you gates, be lifted up, you ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in." That gate is lifting for you right now, chosen one. But will you walk through? You've carried burdens others couldn't see, haven't you? Sleepless nights wondering why your prayers seemed to echo into silence. Moments when you watched others prosper while your dreams felt buried under rejection and delay. Maybe you've whispered, "God, have you forgotten me?" But hear this: you were never forgotten. You were forged. Every tear, every closed door, every moment of doubt was divine preparation for this exact moment. Your struggles weren't punishment. They were God's way of building a foundation strong enough to carry the eternal wealth He's about to pour into your life. Like Joseph, thrown into a pit and sold into slavery, you faced betrayal and loss. Yet Genesis 50:20 reveals, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Every setback was redirecting you to this door of destiny. This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest fears are the keys to your greatest breakthroughs. The enemy has spent years convincing you that fear is your captor, whispering lies that you're too broken, too late, or too small to claim God's plan for your life. But what if fear isn't your prison? What if it's the very doorway to your spiritual awakening? In 2 Timothy 1:7, God declares God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That fear you feel right now isn't from God. It's a counterfeit, a phantom god the devil placed to keep you from your divine purpose. But today we're exposing that lie and unlocking the power within you to step into a prosperous life. Let's talk about Sarah, a single mother from Charlotte, North Carolina. For years she worked 2 jobs, barely making ends meet, her dreams of starting a small bakery buried under bills and exhaustion. She'd pray, "God, when will my breakthrough come?" But fear of failure, of judgment, of not being enough kept her stuck. One night, scrolling through YouTube, she felt a stirring, a divine nudge to act. She wrote down one goal: open my bakery by next year. That simple act of faith shifted something in her spirit. She started small, selling cookies to neighbors, then catering local events. Within 6 months, a local church offered her a shared kitchen space. Today, Sarah's Bakery employs 3 people and donates profits to feed the homeless. Her fear didn't disqualify her. It qualified her for a testimony of divine provision. You might be thinking, but my situation is different. I've failed too many times. Chosen one, your past doesn't define your future. God's promise does. Romans 8:28 assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your mistakes, your delays, your heartbreaks, they're not the end of your story. They're the raw materials God is using to build your faith journey. The enemy wants you to believe your scars make you unworthy, but God sees them as proof of your resilience. You're not just surviving, you're being shaped into a vessel for overflowing blessings. Now, let's get practical. Your spiritual awakening doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires action. Here are 3 specific steps to position yourself for the eternal wealth God has promised. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days. It could be starting a project, applying for a job, or saving a small amount toward a dream. Put it on paper and place it somewhere you'll see daily. This act of faith declares to heaven, "I'm ready for my breakthrough." Second, reach out to someone you've been meaning to connect with. A friend, a family member, or even a mentor. Send a text, make a call, or write a note. Relationships are God's currency for divine connections. Third, take one small step toward a dream you've delayed. Register a domain name, sketch a business idea, or research a skill you need. These steps aren't just tasks. They're declarations of faith that unlock God's plan for your prosperous life. If this message is stirring your spirit, type, "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your declaration isn't just words, it's a spiritual contract, a signal to heaven that you're ready to step through this door. Share this moment with others in our community of chosen ones, because your faith inspires theirs. And if you're feeling led, join thousands of souls walking in their divine purpose by subscribing to this channel. Stay connected to the truth that will guide you to your prosperous life. But what if the fear you're facing is the very doorway to your divine provision? Let's explore that truth next. Because the enemy's greatest lie is about to be shattered, and your destiny is waiting just beyond the threshold. Chosen one, let's confront the phantom that's been guarding your destiny: fear. Picture it like a shadow cast across the radiant door of your divine purpose. Its whispers chilling your heart, telling you to turn back, to stay small, to settle for less than God's plan. But today we're not just naming that fear, we're dismantling it. Imagine standing before that golden door, its surface pulsing with the promise of eternal wealth, your name glowing brighter with every heartbeat. The only thing stopping you isn't a lock or a chain, it's the lie that fear has power over your faith journey. In Isaiah 41:10, God thunders, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That promise isn't poetry. It's your divine assurance that fear is a fraud and your breakthrough is already secured. Let's talk about David, a young shepherd from Bethlehem, standing in the valley of Elah, staring down Goliath. His brothers mocked him, the army doubted him, and the giant towered over him, a 9-foot symbol of terror. Did David feel fear? His heart must have pounded, his hands trembling as he gripped his slingshot. But 1 Samuel 17:45 reveals his secret. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." David didn't deny his fear, he defied it, stepping forward in faith. That single act of courage didn't just slay a giant. It launched him into a destiny as Israel's king. Your fear isn't your defeat. It's your invitation to a spiritual awakening, a chance to prove that God's power in you is greater than any obstacle. You might be thinking, but my fears feel bigger than a giant. They're not just one enemy. They're a lifetime of doubts, failures, and what-ifs. Chosen one, I see you. Maybe it's the fear of starting that business because you've seen others fail. Maybe it's the fear of forgiving someone who hurt you, worried they'll wound you again. Or maybe it's the fear of dreaming too big, terrified that financial freedom or a prosperous life is for others. But hear this. Every fear is a doorway to your divine provision. The enemy wants you to see fear as a wall, but God designed it as a threshold. When you step through, you don't just overcome fear. You unlock the abundance God has stored for you. Let's get real with a story. Meet James, a 42-year-old teacher from Atlanta, Georgia. For years, he dreamed of writing a book about his journey through addiction and recovery, believing it could inspire others. But fear of rejection, of not being good enough, of exposing his past, kept him silent. He'd pray, "God, show me a sign," but the fear grew louder than his faith. One Sunday, his pastor preached on Joshua 1:9. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That verse hit James like lightning. He went home, wrote one page, then another. Within a year, he self-published his book. Today, James's story has reached thousands through speaking engagements and book sales, funding scholarships for recovery programs. His fear wasn't his end, it was his beginning. Your fears are not random, chosen one. They're strategic attacks on your divine purpose. The enemy doesn't waste his energy on those who pose no threat. The intensity of your fear reveals the magnitude of your calling. Think about it. Why would the devil fight so hard to keep you from that business, that relationship, that bold step? Because he knows that on the other side lies a prosperous life that will shift generations. Your personal transformation isn't just for you. It's a beacon for others, a testimony that God's plan prevails. In Ephesians 6:12, we're reminded, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world." Your fear is a spiritual battle, but you're already equipped to win. Let's revisit those 3 action steps, because faith without action is like a seed unplanted. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, something tangible, like saving $50.00 or drafting a business idea. Second, reach out to someone who needs your light, a call, a text, a kind word. Third, take one small step toward a dream you've delayed, like researching a course or sketching a vision board. These aren't just tasks, they're keys to unlock your divine provision. Don't add more steps. Focus on these 3. They're your declaration to heaven that you're ready for eternal wealth, not just in spirit, but in every area of your life. If this message is igniting your faith, type "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your words are a spiritual marker, a signal to the universe that you're stepping into your destiny. Share this with someone who needs to hear that their fears don't define them. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to join a community of chosen ones walking boldly toward their prosperous life. Every like, every share, every comment builds a movement of faith. But what if the fear you're facing isn't just a barrier, it's a bridge to the very abundance God promised? Let's uncover how your next step could rewrite your story and unleash a legacy of overflowing blessings. Chosen one, imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon. the winds of doubt swirling around you, whispering that you'll never cross to the other side where your divine purpose awaits. That canyon is your fear, stretching wide and deep. But here's the truth that will shake your spirit. It's not a chasm to trap you. It's a bridge to your eternal wealth. Picture that bridge, shimmering with divine light, each plank inscribed with God's promises. Every step you take across it is a declaration that fear no longer writes your story, faith does. Hebrews 11:1 declares, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Your faith journey isn't about erasing fear, it's about walking through it, trusting that God's plan for your prosperous life is already unfolding. Let's talk about Esther, a young orphan in a foreign land, standing before a choice that could cost her life. The king's decree threatened her people, and her cousin Mordecai urged her to act. Fear must have gripped her, fear of death, of rejection, of stepping into a role she never chose. Yet Esther 4:14 reveals her turning point. "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" She fasted, prayed, and walked into the king's court uninvited, risking everything. Her courage didn't just save a nation, it birthed a legacy that echoes through eternity. Your fear, chosen one, is your such a time as this moment. It's not here to stop you, it's here to propel you into a spiritual awakening that unlocks divine provision. You might be saying, "But my fears feel too heavy, too real." I hear you. Maybe it's the fear of leaving a stable job to pursue a calling, worried about financial freedom, or the fear of opening your heart again after betrayal, doubting if love can bloom. Perhaps it's the fear of failure, haunting you with memories of dreams that didn't soar. But listen, those fears are not your truth. They're shadows cast by the enemy to dim the light of your divine purpose. In John 16:33, Jesus assures us, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Every fear you face is already defeated by the one who carved your name on that radiant door of destiny. Let's meet Maria, a 55-year-old nurse from San Diego, California. After decades caring for others, she felt a stirring to start a community health program for low-income families. Fear shouted, "You're too old to start over. You don't have the funds or the clout." But one evening, reading Psalm 23:1, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing," she felt a divine nudge. Maria took her first step, writing a proposal for her program. She reached out to a local non-profit, nervous but hopeful. Within months, they partnered with her, securing grants. Today, Maria's program serves hundreds, proving that fear was her bridge to a prosperous life, not her barrier. Her story isn't just hers, it's yours, chosen one, a testament to what happens when you trust God's plan over fear's lies. Your fears are like waves crashing against a lighthouse. They seem fierce, but they can't extinguish your light. Each wave is a chance to stand firm, to declare that your faith journey is stronger than your doubts. The enemy knows that if you cross that bridge, you'll ignite a personal transformation that ripples through your family, your community, your world. That's why the resistance feels so intense. But Philippians 4:13 reminds us, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Your strength doesn't come from willpower, it comes from the God who's already paved your path to abundance. Let's anchor in those 3 steps you've already received, because they're your bridge's foundation. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, a seed of faith planted in your heart. Second, reach out to someone who needs your connection, building divine relationships. Third, take one small step toward a delayed dream, signaling to heaven your readiness for breakthrough. These steps are your act of defiance against fear, your proof that you're claiming your eternal wealth. Don't look for more tasks, Focus on these, letting them guide you across the bridge to your prosperous life. If this message is setting your spirit ablaze, type "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your declaration is a beacon, lighting the way for others in our community of chosen ones. Share this video with someone paralyzed by fear, because your courage could be their catalyst. And if you're ready to walk this path with us, subscribe to stay connected to the truth that fuels your divine purpose. Every comment, every share builds a movement of faith that the enemy can't stop. But what if crossing this bridge doesn't just unlock your breakthrough? It unleashes a legacy that transforms generations. Let's explore how your next step could rewrite not just your story, but the story of everyone connected to you. Chosen one, picture yourself halfway across that shimmering bridge, the canyon of fear beneath you fading as the radiant door of your divine purpose grows closer. Each step you take pulses with divine energy, a testament to your faith journey, overcoming the shadows of doubt. Now, imagine this. The moment you cross this bridge, you don't just step into your own breakthrough. You ignite a legacy of eternal wealth that transforms generations. Your spiritual awakening isn't a solitary event. It's a divine spark that sets entire bloodlines ablaze with God's plan for abundance. In Isaiah 61:4, the Bible proclaims they will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. That's you, chosen one. Not just living for today, but rebuilding what was broken before you were born, paving a prosperous life for those who follow. Let's talk about Abraham, a man called at 75 to leave everything familiar for a promise he couldn't see. Fear could have kept him in Haran, fear of the unknown, of failure, of being too old. But Genesis 12:2 reveals God's vow: "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing." Abraham's faith didn't just secure his own destiny. It birthed nations, shaping history through Isaac, Jacob, and countless descendants. Your steps today aren't just for you. They're for the children who'll inherit your courage, the communities who'll thrive from your vision, the generations who'll walk in the divine provision you unlock. Your fear isn't just a personal battle. It's a spiritual war over the legacy God entrusted to you. You might be thinking, how can I leave a legacy when I'm still fighting my own battles? Chosen one, your battles are your qualifications. Every fear you've faced, every tear you've shed, every door that slammed shut has carved out the strength to carry this calling. Your personal transformation is the foundation of your legacy. Think about Rosa, a 38-year-old social worker from Chicago, Illinois. After years of battling self-doubt and financial strain, she felt a stirring to mentor young women in her community. Fear whispered, "You're not perfect enough to lead." But one Sunday, reading Galatians 6:9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up," she took her first step. Rosa wrote down her goal: mentor 5 girls by year's end. She reached out to a local school, offering her time. Today, her mentorship program has grown to serve dozens, breaking cycles of poverty and despair. Rosa's fear didn't stop her legacy, it shaped it, proving that eternal wealth flows through obedience. Your legacy isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. The enemy wants you to believe your past mistakes or current struggles disqualify you, but God sees them as the raw materials for your testimony. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, he declares, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Your weaknesses are where God's strength shines brightest, turning your fears into stepping stones for a prosperous life. Every time you choose faith over fear, you're not just crossing a bridge, you're building one for others to follow, a path to divine provision that outlives your earthly days. Let's hold fast to those 3 steps, because they're the pillars of your legacy. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, planting a seed for your breakthrough. Second, reach out to someone who needs your light, forging divine connections. Third, take one small step toward a delayed dream, declaring your readiness for abundance. These actions are your spiritual currency, investing in a future where your family, your community, and your world reap the rewards of your courage. Don't seek more steps. Let these 3 guide you, each one a bold defiance of fear's lies. If this message is stirring your soul, type "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your declaration is a spiritual milestone, uniting you with the community of chosen ones, building legacies of faith. Share this video with someone who needs to know their fears are bridges, not barriers, because your testimony could spark their spiritual awakening. And if you're ready to walk this path with us, subscribe to stay anchored in the truth that fuels your divine purpose. Every comment, every share is a brick in the foundation of a movement that hell cannot shake. But what if your legacy isn't just about the future? It's about redeeming the past, transforming every pain into a pillar of God's glory. Let's uncover how your next step could heal what's behind you while unlocking the overflowing blessings ahead. Chosen one, imagine standing on that shimmering bridge, the radiant door of your divine purpose now within reach, its golden light casting a glow that illuminates not just your future, but your past. Every step you've taken through fear has brought you closer to a truth that will shake your spirit. Your spiritual awakening doesn't just unlock eternal wealth for tomorrow, it redeems the pain of yesterday, transforming every wound into a pillar of God's glory. Picture a scroll unfurling in heaven, your life story written in divine ink, every tear, every betrayal, every moment of doubt woven into a tapestry of triumph. Psalm 56:8 declares, "You keep track of all my sorrows, you have collected all my tears in your bottle, you have recorded each one in your book." Your past isn't a chain holding you back, it's a sacred archive, proof that God's plan for your prosperous life has been at work all along. Let's talk about Joseph, a young dreamer whose coat of many colors became a target for his brother's envy. Betrayed, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit, Joseph could have let his past define him. Fear of rejection, of never seeing his dreams fulfilled, could have consumed him. But Genesis 45:7 reveals his revelation. "God sent me ahead of you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance." Joseph's pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation for a legacy that saved nations. Your past, chosen one, isn't a graveyard of regrets. It's a training ground for your divine purpose. Every fear you faced, every scar you carry, is being redeemed to fuel your breakthrough. You might be whispering, "But my past feels too heavy to redeem. My mistakes, my losses, they haunt me." I see you, chosen one. Maybe it's a broken relationship that left you questioning your worth. Maybe it's a financial misstep that cost you years of stability. Or perhaps it's a dream you abandoned, fearing you'd never recover. But hear this. Your past doesn't disqualify you. It authenticates you. In Romans 8:28, God promises, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your pain is raw material for your personal transformation, a foundation for a testimony that will inspire others to claim their prosperous life. Let's meet Rachel, a 45-year-old artist from Portland, Oregon. 10 years ago, her marriage ended in betrayal, leaving her with 2 children and a shattered sense of self. Fear of failure, of being unlovable, kept her from painting, her lifelong passion. She'd pray, "God, why did this happen to me?" but one night, reading Isaiah 61:3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, she felt a divine stirring. Rachel took her first step, writing a goal to create one painting that week. She reached out to a friend who ran a local gallery, sharing her story. That friend displayed her work, and within a year, Rachel's art was featured in community events, raising funds for single mothers. Her past didn't bury her. It birthed a legacy of divine provision, proving that God redeems every pain for His glory. Your past is a bridge, not a barrier. Every fear you've overcome, every wound you've carried, has shaped you into a vessel for overflowing blessings. The enemy wants you to see your history as a prison, but God sees it as a launchpad for your faith journey. In Revelation 12:11, we're told, "They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Your testimony, your redeemed past, is a weapon shattering the enemy's lies and lighting the way for others to their spiritual awakening. Your eternal wealth isn't just about what's ahead. It's about the healing God is weaving through every moment you've lived. Anchor yourself in those 3 steps, because they're the keys to redeeming your past and stepping into abundance. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, a declaration that your future is brighter than your pain. Second, reach out to someone who needs your light, building connections that heal old wounds. Third, take one small step toward a delayed dream, proving that your past can't stop your destiny. These actions are your spiritual act of worship, a commitment to God's plan for your prosperous life. Stay focused on these 3, no more, no less, and watch how they transform your story. If this message is igniting your faith, type, "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your words are a spiritual beacon, uniting you with thousands of chosen ones, rewriting their pasts through faith. Share this video with someone haunted by their history, because your courage could spark their breakthrough. And if you're ready to stay anchored in this truth, subscribe to join a community walking boldly toward their divine purpose. Every comment, every share, builds a movement that redeems pain and unleashes abundance. But what if redeeming your past isn't just about healing? It's about becoming a beacon of hope for a world desperate for light. Let's explore how your next step could turn your story into a divine signal, guiding others to their eternal wealth. Chosen one, envision yourself now, standing just steps from that radiant door, its golden glow bathing you in divine light, the bridge of fear behind you, trembling under the weight of your courage. As you move closer, a truth dawns like a sunrise over your soul. Your spiritual awakening isn't just for you. It's a beacon of hope, a divine signal to a world shrouded in darkness, desperate for the light of eternal wealth. Picture your life as a lighthouse, its beam cutting through the fog of despair, guiding lost ships, people you've never met, generations yet unborn, to the shores of God's plan. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus declares, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." Your faith journey, forged through fear, is now a radiant call to others, inviting them to claim their prosperous life. Let's talk about Daniel, a young man exiled in Babylon, surrounded by a culture that mocked his faith. Fear could have silenced him. Fear of persecution, of standing alone, of defying a king's decree. Yet Daniel 6:10 reveals his resolve. Now when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed. His courage in the face of a lion's den didn't just save his life, it turned a pagan king's heart to God, proclaiming, "His kingdom will not be destroyed, his dominion will never end." Your courage, chosen one, isn't just for your breakthrough. It's a divine spark that ignites revival. a testimony of divine provision that shifts nations. You might be thinking, how can I be a beacon when I'm still battling my own fears? Chosen one, your battles make you relatable, not irrelevant. The world doesn't need perfect heroes, it needs real ones, scarred by fear yet shining with faith. Your personal transformation is a living proof that God's plan prevails. Let's meet Michael, a 50-year-old mechanic from Houston, Texas. After losing his job during a recession, fear of failure kept him from pursuing his dream of opening a repair shop. He'd pray, "God, I'm not enough." But one morning, reading John 15:5, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit," he felt a divine nudge. Michael wrote down his goal: save $500, 0 cents for tools. He reached out to a former colleague, asking for advice. That colleague connected him with a small business grant program. Today, Michael's shop employs 4 locals and hosts free car repair clinics for struggling families. His fear didn't dim his light. It fueled a beacon of hope, proving that eternal wealth flows through faith. Your story, chosen one, is a divine signal, a broadcast of God's glory that reaches further than you can imagine. Every fear you've faced has refined your light, making it brighter, purer, more piercing. The enemy wants you to hide that light, to believe your struggles make you unworthy. But 1 Peter 2:9 counters, you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. Your divine purpose isn't to shrink from fear, but to shine through it, guiding others to their prosperous life. Stay rooted in those 3 steps because they're the fuel for your beacon. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, a spark that lights your path. Second, reach out to someone who needs your connection, amplifying your signal. Third, take one small step toward a delayed dream, broadcasting your faith to the world. These actions are your spiritual act of defiance, a declaration that fear won't dim your light. Focus on these 3. No more steps are needed, because they're the foundation of your legacy of abundance. If this message is setting your spirit ablaze, type "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your declaration is a flare in the night, uniting you with a global community of chosen ones shining for God's glory. Share this video with someone lost in fear's fog, because your light could guide them home. And if you're ready to keep your beacon burning, subscribe to join thousands walking boldly toward their divine purpose. Every comment, every share is a pulse of hope that the enemy cannot extinguish. But what if your light doesn't just guide others? What if it shatters the darkness holding entire communities captive? Let's uncover how your next step could unleash a wave of divine provision that transforms the world around you. Chosen one, imagine the radiant door of your divine purpose now, so close you can feel its warmth, its golden light pulsing like a heartbeat, calling you to step through. As you stand on the bridge of faith, the fears you've conquered behind you, a new vision unfolds. Your spiritual awakening isn't just a personal triumph. It's a divine explosion, a wave of eternal wealth that shatters the darkness, holding entire communities captive. Picture a city shrouded in despair, its streets heavy with broken dreams. Yet your light pierces through, igniting hope, restoring purpose and unleashing divine provision. In Isaiah 61, God commands, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Your faith journey, forged through fear, is now a force for transformation, a beacon that turns wastelands into gardens of abundance. Let's talk about Nehemiah, a cupbearer in a foreign palace, his heart heavy for Jerusalem's broken walls. Fear could have kept him silent. fear of the king's rejection, of failure, of leaving his comfort. Yet Nehemiah 2:4-5 shows his courage. Then I prayed to the God of heaven, and I answered the king, if it pleases the king, let me go to the city of my ancestors and rebuild it. His bold step didn't just restore a city, it revived a nation's spirit, proving God's power to rebuild what was lost. Your courage, chosen one, isn't just for your prosperous life. It's for the communities around you, the people waiting for someone to rise and show that God's plan prevails. You might be saying, but I'm just one person. How can I transform a community when I'm still overcoming my own fears? Chosen one, your small steps are seismic in the spirit realm. Your personal transformation is a divine ripple, spreading far beyond your sight. Let's meet Lisa, a 32-year-old teacher from Memphis, Tennessee. After years of teaching in underfunded schools, she felt a stirring to start a literacy program for struggling kids. Fear of lacking resources, of being overwhelmed, held her back. But one evening, reading Acts 1:8, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses. She felt a divine urge. Lisa wrote down her goal: tutor 5 kids weekly. She reached out to her church asking for volunteers. That small step grew into a program now serving over 50 children, with local businesses donating books. Lisa's fear didn't stop her. It fueled a movement of divine provision, lighting up her community. Your light, chosen one, is a divine weapon, shattering chains of poverty, despair, and division. The enemy wants you to believe your fears make you too small to matter, but God sees you as a catalyst for overflowing blessings. In Ephesians 3:20, we're promised, now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Your divine purpose isn't limited by your fears, it's amplified by your faith. Every step you take through fear is a declaration that God's glory will shine through you, transforming not just your life but the world around you. Hold fast to those 3 steps, because they're the sparks of your divine explosion. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, a seed that grows into abundance. Second, reach out to someone who needs your connection, building bridges for God's light. Third, take one small step toward a delayed dream, igniting a fire that spreads hope. These actions are your spiritual blueprint, a commitment to a prosperous life that impacts communities. To stay focused on these 3, no more are needed, because they're the keys to unlocking God's plan. If this message is setting your heart ablaze, type "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your declaration is a spiritual flare, uniting you with a global family of chosen ones, transforming their world. Share this video with someone trapped in darkness, because your light could be their lifeline. And if you're ready to keep shining, subscribe to join thousands walking boldly toward their divine purpose. Every comment, every share is a wave of hope that reshapes the earth. But what if your light doesn't just transform communities? What if it rewrites the spiritual atmosphere, ushering in a revival of God's glory? Let's explore how your next step could spark a divine movement that echoes through eternity. Chosen one, picture yourself now, mere steps from the radiant door of your divine purpose. Its golden light, so intense it feels like heaven itself is breathing over you. The bridge of fear you've crossed trembles no more, its shadows dissolved by the brilliance of your faith journey. As you stand here, a new revelation ignites your spirit. Your spiritual awakening isn't just a light for communities, it's a divine fire, rewriting the spiritual atmosphere, ushering in a revival of God's glory that echoes through eternity. Imagine a vast sky, once heavy with clouds of despair. now splitting open as your courage releases beams of divine provision, awakening hearts across the earth. In Habakkuk 2:14, God declares, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea." Your breakthrough, chosen one, is a spark in that global revival, a testament to a prosperous life that glorifies God's plan. Let's talk about Elijah, a lone prophet facing a nation steeped in idolatry. Fear could have silenced him. Fear of King Ahab's wrath, of standing against 450 prophets of Baal, of failing to prove God's power. Yet 1 Kings 18:38 reveals his triumph. Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the soil, and also licked up the water in the trench. Elijah's faith didn't just win a showdown, it turned a nation's heart back to God, igniting a spiritual revival. Your courage, chosen one, isn't just for your eternal wealth, it's for the world, a divine signal that God's glory is rising. Every fear you've overcome is fuel for this revival, a declaration that your divine purpose will shift the atmosphere. You might be whispering, "But I'm not a prophet. How can I spark a revival?" Chosen one, you don't need a title to carry God's fire. Your personal transformation is a living revival, a testimony that inspires others to claim their prosperous life. Let's meet Grace, a 60-year-old retiree from Miami, Florida. After losing her husband, fear of loneliness, of irrelevance, kept her isolated. But one Sunday, reading Acts 2:17, "In the last days God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people," she felt a divine stirring. Grace wrote down her goal: start a prayer group. She reached out to neighbors, inviting them to pray. That small step grew into a weekly gathering of dozens, with stories of healed marriages and restored hope. Grace's fear didn't quench her fire. It kindled a revival in her neighborhood, proving that divine provision flows through ordinary hearts. Your light, chosen one, is a divine inferno, burning away the enemy's lies and illuminating God's truth. The fears you've faced, fear of failure, of judgment, of dreaming too big, were the enemy's attempt to snuff out your flame. But Revelation 21:5 proclaims, "He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new." Your faith journey is part of God's renewal, a revival that transforms hearts, homes, and nations. Every step through fear is a spark, every act of courage a flame, every moment of faith a fire that no darkness can extinguish. Stay anchored in those 3 steps, because they're the kindling for your revival. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days, a spark that ignites your destiny. Second, reach out to someone who needs your light, fanning the flames of connection. Third, take one small step toward a delayed dream, setting the world ablaze with your faith. These actions are your spiritual offering, a commitment to a prosperous life that radiates God's glory. Focus on these 3. No more are needed, because they're the heart of your eternal wealth. If this message is blazing in your spirit, type "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments below. Your declaration is a torch, uniting you with thousands of chosen ones, fueling God's revival. Share this video with someone whose faith needs rekindling, because your fire could spark their spiritual awakening. And if you're ready to keep burning, subscribe to join a global movement walking boldly toward their divine purpose. Every comment, every share is a flame that spreads God's light. Now, chosen one, let's stand at the threshold of that radiant door, its light no longer distant, but enveloping you, its warmth a divine embrace. You've crossed the bridge of fear, redeemed your past, lit up communities, and now you're poised to ignite a revival. But here's the truth that will shake you to your core. This door isn't the end. It's the beginning of a life so abundant, so anointed, so aligned with God's plan that you'll barely recognize yourself. In John 10:10, Jesus promises, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." Your eternal wealth, spiritual, emotional, material, is waiting on the other side, but it requires one final act of faith: stepping through. Let's talk about Peter, trembling in a boat as waves roared around him. Fear could have kept him seated, fear of sinking, of failing in front of his friends. But Matthew 14:29 records his leap. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water and came toward Jesus. His step wasn't perfect, he faltered, but Jesus caught him. Your step through this door doesn't need to be flawless, chosen one. It needs to be faithful. Your fears don't vanish. They bow to the one who calls you to a prosperous life. This door leads to rooms of divine provision, boardrooms where kingdom strategies are birthed, homes where love is restored, communities where hope rises, and a world where God's glory reigns. As we prepare to pray, know this: your courage has already shifted the spiritual atmosphere. Angels are rejoicing, the enemy's retreating, and heaven is recording your yes. Those 3 steps, writing a goal, reaching out, taking a small step, are your keys, unlocking a legacy of overflowing blessings. If this message has stirred your soul, consider sowing a seed through Super Thanks below. Your generosity isn't just a gift. It's a partnership in spreading divine provision to chosen ones worldwide, fueling this revival. But whether you give or receive, your presence here is a miracle, a testament to God's relentless pursuit of your heart. Let's pray, chosen one. Place your hand on your heart, feel its rhythm, heaven's pulse within you. Heavenly Father, we stand before your radiant door, hearts open, fears surrendered. In Jesus' name, I break every chain of fear, holding your chosen ones back. I shatter lies of inadequacy, failure, and unworthiness. Pour out your Spirit, igniting a revival of eternal wealth. Open doors of abundance. Heal broken hearts. Restore lost dreams. Let their goals bear fruit, their connections spark miracles, their steps unleash glory. Silence the enemy's whispers and amplify your truth. We step through this door not in our strength, but in yours, claiming a prosperous life that shines for you. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Chosen one, the door is open, your destiny awaits, and heaven is cheering. Type, "I am claiming my eternal wealth" in the comments to seal your commitment, and pray for the person who commented before you, building our army of light. Share this video now. Someone needs your fire to ignite their faith. Like and subscribe to stay connected to this movement of divine purpose, joining thousands walking toward their prosperous life. Thank you for your open heart, your bold faith, your unyielding spirit. You are chosen, you are called, you are never alone. Step through, beloved. Your greatest chapter begins now, and the world will never be the same.